everybody. Thank you for tuning in again, I guess. Or if this is your first time, yeah, you came back. So thank you for listening the first time, and thank you for deciding to come back again. And we are Mum's Gone Wild. Let's go. I just thought it just sounded like it flowed. But yeah, so guys, should we talk about our birthing stories today?
Yeah.
That'll be a long I think it's only right.
It feels like the natural progression.
Yeah.
What's next? The first thing that comes with being a parent. Well, getting pregnant.
Yeah. How did we plan?
Because that's quite a story sometimes.
Yeah.
So the song came on. Don't you know? And then I was like, oh. And then he was like, and then everyone. So he was like, but he was. No, I'm joking.
It was just like,
She pointed her toe and she said, "Come get it."
Come hither.
Oh, nasty. This is a clean podcast story.
so.
Oh, looking at me first?
Yeah, well.
Was your pregnancy planned? We're talking about first pregnancies, by the way. We've all got 2 children. Talking about first pregnancy.
So Hina,
Okay. Yeah.
how did you plan?
We did plan. However, we was trying for a while and I wasn't getting pregnant because I'd come off the pill. And I think it'd been like a year. So we said, all right, we'll stop trying now. And so the whole family booked a trip to Gambia to go and scatter mum's ashes. So no one laughing.
It's because it's not funny. It's the way funny, but it was your face. At first I was like, why is she laughing?
To scatter mum's ashes, we had to go to the village in Gambia. And of course, as soon as we booked Gambia, I got pregnant instantly. So it meant that I couldn't go to the village to scatter mum's ashes, so nobody could scatter mum's ashes.
The voice is so hard.
Sorry. We ruined it for everyone.
Basically.
That's
They
what
got paid for their holiday.
She said nobody's.
I'd be if I was your sister.
Man.
I'd be living.
Yeah, because
They just paid thousands to travel.
They couldn't
And
do
now
it
we
without
can't go.
me. No. But they did, to be fair, they still went to the village to like see the library that we'd built and stuff over there, but it just meant that the ashes couldn't go to
And that
the
was how many years ago?
7.
Where is mum now?
In my living room.
Do you know what? In my head, I was going to talk about my phone. Let me leave it. I was like, in her ring.
I know we talked about it. Oh yeah. And to be fair, she's still. Oh, this is really bad.
No, it's not, because she's close to you.
Yeah, it's really close to me. And she's still in the green box. She came in.
But it actually is a nice. It's not like a horrible looking box. I feel like it looks okay.
It's green. And I put nice pictures next to her. But we did say, to be fair, this year we have to get her an urn, like a nice one, because we've now come to the conclusion that she's not going to be scattered.
Oh, you don't want to scatter?
No, we don't like the idea of that anymore.
So maybe getting pregnant was like a...
It was a stopping.
Yeah.
She said no.
Maybe it was.
watching.
She said you're
That's
not
good.
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway.
So tell them to say thanks to you. Tell them to say thanks to you.
Yes. Exactly.
Did she find out you were pregnant? She didn't know you were pregnant.
No, so what... Oh, yeah, so we could talk about that, actually. So what happened was, before Mum got sick, me and Joe were talking about that we might start trying. So I was 24. Yeah, 24, or turning 25. And we were both scared because we're both self-employed. So it was like, oh, no, we'll hold off for a little while. She was like, look, doesn't matter about financials. When you have a baby, you're just going to make it work. Like whether you have money or you don't have money, you're just going to make it work so that you provide for your child. So whenever you feel like you're ready emotionally, have the child.
Yeah.
So then she had yes. Then we left it for a little while, and then she went into hospital, and everything obviously happened really quickly. So then me and Jay were sitting there one day, and she was like, "All right, so like, what you guys doing? Then you're gonna start trying." And at this point, we didn't know what was wrong with her. So we was like, oh, no, we're still going to wait, and we're still scared. So then she said to Jay, look, just stop panicking. Just do it. Like, you're going to be fine, because Jay was more the panicker than me. So then Jay was like, all right, we'll start trying. So then I came off the pill while Mum was in hospital. But nothing was happening, and I think that was a good thing because it was too stressful.
Maybe that's why.
But then
That's
she was
why,
saying
yeah.
things like, oh, like I really can't wait, and I could just feel her. And obviously, I wasn't even pregnant yet, but she was like, I could just feel her, and she's so beautiful, I know. And then like touching her, and she was losing her mind a little bit at this point, so she had a brain tumor, guys. But she like put her hand on her chest and was like, I could just feel her, she smells so nice, and oh my gosh, we need to buy the Spanish clothes for her and stuff like that. And we was picking out buggies and all this sort of stuff. I wasn't even pregnant yet, but we just got excited. And then it wasn't until after she passed and we said, all right, we stopped trying when we knew what was happening with her. And then we started trying again after a little while, felt it was right, and it wasn't happening. And then obviously we went to Gambia. So when we went to Gambia, I was 7.5 months pregnant in 40+ degrees heat, and my feet were so swollen.
And you travelled as well with that as well.
Yeah. So like my sisters and my friends will make a joke because I took several pairs of sandals with me to Gambia and I could only wear one gold sandal because my feet swelled up so much.
She's wearing the Nike sliders, the fat ones.
Yeah, so although it wasn't ideal when I got pregnant, I feel like the time was right because obviously we'd lost mum and then everyone was excited that I then got pregnant with a girl. So I remember our gender reveal, we had all our family around and we did the big balloon and had like the confetti inside of pink, and me and Jay knew, but nobody else knew. So we had everyone around and we popped it and everyone went mental, like screaming, Zen started crying, fell to the ground, running up and down, everyone was running up and down. Because it was a girl and everyone was like, oh, mum sent her. So it felt right. So yeah, semi-planned.
They say like, as like a grandparent or as a grandmother, you carry like your grandchildren.
Yeah,
I love it, you know.
Like through your daughter, like you can. So that's quite like I don't know.
Special.
Yeah, that is special because she still carried part of who Nia is.
Yeah.
In her,
And
in
Nia
her
is so connected to her. Like she's
Yeah.
obviously never met her in her life. But even when she was like 2, she would say things like, so we call her Nene for the kids. So Nia would be like, oh, I really miss Nene. Like, where's Nene? I just want to play with her. Or I think Nene's watching me and stuff like that. She'd write little letters to her, or she'd take out my phone and just scroll through all the pictures of her. But she's always talking about her. Even the other day, Luca said to me, so our new thing is if they lie, we say, oh, Nene's watching. So then Luca said something to me and he asked me something and I gave him an answer and he was like, no, mummy, that's not right. And I said, yes, it is. And he was like, no, mummy, you're lying. I said, excuse me, can you call her lying? He said, yeah, you're lying and Nene's watching. I said, you're not going to use my mum against me.
She's like, she's my mother. Do that.
Yeah. So yeah, she was born, and that just felt really nice but really hard at the same time. I remember like even when I found out that I was pregnant with her, it was a bittersweet moment because I was so happy and everyone was so happy, but I felt like I hadn't told everyone because I hadn't told mum. So anyone that I was telling it didn't have that feeling like, oh my God, like, oh my, I'm pregnant, you're going to be a nan or whatever. That was really hard for me. So now I feel like my feelings were kind of suppressed over that time and then it came out later. But at the same time, I was so excited. But then seeing other people with their mums when you have a baby is like very difficult. Because me and my cousin had our babies 1 week apart and she had her mum and I could see like them together and I was like, oh, I really need that. But then everyone has something that is not always going to be 100% right. So you just have to take your blessings, don't you? But yeah, it's been a real journey with them. But that's how I got pregnant.
It's beautiful.
And when I found out, you know, like you have that image of coming out with the pregnancy test saying, I'm pregnant, like to your partner. Jay was like, oh, okay.
Must have been a long day.
It's like, I've just come from work. Tell me later.
We suspected it, so every time I'm pregnant, well, the 2 times I've been pregnant, the 2 times, my boobs really hurt, like wild pain. So I know straight away before I've even done a test. Yes, fire. Oh my God.
I feel like it's acid coming
So I'd felt this pain, but I didn't want to do the test because I was so scared. So he was like, right, just do the test. So I went into the bathroom, came back out, and then I was crying.
And he said, oh, okay.
He was like, okay. I said,
Not surprised.
I said, well, how do you feel? And he was like, oh yeah, you know. I said, what do you mean? But then after, when we spoke about it lots, he was like, I couldn't be excited because you never know what's going to happen. He's a very matter-of-fact person, isn't he? Like, he has to wait to know that we have the all clear with things and whatever. So I think by the 12-week scan, his feelings changed. But all up to that point, I was like, oh, like, are you excited? And he's like, no. No, but like,
but it wasn't.
I need to know that it's fine before
when she comes.
Yeah, when she comes.
Yeah, because it's also a long time, to wait. I feel like from those first moments.
Yeah, then when she was born, he was hysterically crying. Yeah, so he just had to see her, I think. Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. Okay, next.
Do you want to do yours?
She said, okay,
I can do
next.
it. Mine is not as exciting as...
I don't want to tell mine.
I feel like we should have left it till last. I don't know why we started. Maybe we should like chop.
Yes.
At the end. Yeah. We decided we're gonna have a baby, and the next month we were pregnant.
No way!
Month. Yeah. Literally. I mean, it
Sorry,
really.
you lot can't play about.
No, we can because
No.
it messed me up for the next one. Because the next one there was a whole journey with Olivia.
Oh.
But Luke was like we decided when we got married we wanted to like give it a lot of time before we tried for kids, and so we were like so careful the whole run up. I was like, I bet like when we try to have kids it's really difficult, and we didn't need to pay all this attention to being so like careful before. But I'm glad that we did, because literally one summer we were like, oh yeah, it's time now.
Sorry, what summer's
And
day?
I think I was travelling. I was like travelling. I was like, oh, like this is the morning. You know, like you do the whole like ovulation is here, guys. It's the most regimented time that you do. Like my flight leaves in 3 hours, so it's 5 a.m. now, or it's
said,
not
"Let's
this
get it."
month. Like, come up again. And
So romantic.
literally, like, so romantic. Sorry, Luke. And literally, like within like a month or 2 weeks later, or whatever it is, I think it's 2 weeks. You have to wait to take a pregnancy test, and it will come back positive. Yeah, I think I took the pregnancy test early because I'm so impatient. So I was like, and I remember going. So I went to Ireland to see my friend, and like we were gonna have to. I was like, I can't drink.
Did you announce it?
I can't. I might be pregnant. We'll try it.
She just tried to say sorry.
Because I wear my heart on my sleeve, right? I don't really keep like secrets from my friends like that. Like even my mum, when I told her I was pregnant, she was like,
We know you've been saying it for a very long time.
She's like,
I'm trying now.
I knew you were trying. Like you had already said you were going to try and have kids, so I'm not surprised. Even though it only took 1 month. She's like, yeah. But I think we even went to Costa. I was like, I won't drink caffeine just in case.
Not the cafe.
I honestly, I don't know who I thought I was. Like, I obviously thought I was 9 months pregnant when I got to Ireland.
You know,
I'm all right.
She was like, oh, I need to sit down. Pregnant.
When the blood already. Might as well.
Baby
awards.
Yeah, pregnant.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, so I might be pregnant, so I'm just gonna be really...
Can I have Schlur, please?
Heavens. Grape juice.
And how long were you married when you got
So I've been
married?
married 4 years.
Yeah.
Well, like, we got married 4 years. Because we wanted to have some time just like with us. And I remember a few people said to me, oh, well, you know, time goes really fast. But actually I was like, no, I really enjoyed not having children.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about it earlier today. I don't think I can remember what life was like before we had children.
No.
You don't.
We have our children here.
Yeah.
We already decided that we'd love to live life as if we didn't have children, because taking them with us everywhere is really stressful. How nice would it be just to get in the car and go?
Yeah.
I remember that. Like, let's go out.
Back in the day.
Okay, let's go to the shops. Put your shoes on.
Let's
one
go
little
cinema.
handbag.
Let's go cinema.
Yeah.
That one was the one.
So easy. And we were spoiled because we lived with my mum and dad for like the first 2 years of Luke's life. So even
So
the
you
first
could-
couple of years.
Oh,
like, we used to just-
okay.
we were like, oh, here's the monitor. And
BRB.
we'd go out.
Yeah.
No more. So yeah, it's literally 1 month. That was it. Wow.
She was great.
End of story.
So she said 1 month.
That was me as well.
She was a
Was it?
Yeah. Like, literally.
Sorry, can I just say that? But Dooley used to literally tell us she was pregnant so much.
Oh, I used to joke. I used to
Even
joke.
when she said she was pregnant, I was like, no, I looked at Daniel. I said, Daniel, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. She's pregnant. Because we're doing black guys are pregnant. And then she
I can't remember why I did it. Like, it was for a specific reason.
I think I feel pregnant.
Oh my god.
No, I didn't. That one.
Edwina. We must get Sylvia on this chair. You'd be like, I'm feeling something. You'd say like you feel ill, like, I'm pregnant. I must.
Okay, maybe that was the reason. That was the.
She's gonna
So when
say,
you
Oh,
said you
that
were
was me
pregnant.
saying, "Oh, I'm pregnant." Like, oh, I feel something. Make me
Yeah,
pregnant.
that's what we were like.
Yeah, but even then, I knew I wasn't trying. Then, like, but I
So-
could have been pregnant. But when we did decide to try,
Yeah.
like literally, we were pregnant straight away. Is what I mean.
That's why I was just like, I thought you were trying for so long. For the amount of time you told us you were pregnant.
Literally, I
was just
remember.
like, she's been trying.
I was like, I spoke to Daniel. I said, I don't want to go to work anymore.
oh, this is what?
Yeah. I don't want to go to work anymore. Sorry. Yeah, literally. Don't want to work anymore. Let's start trying. Because we always said that if we give it 2 years.
She needs a minute.
No, it is. It's just because the logic. It's not because you're working.
No, but it's a different kind of.
I understand the logic.
It's a different
I
kind
even
of
thought I
work.
She's like, I
understand.
want a year of
Just
I remember going in and saying it to my colleague as well, and this was my head of department at the time. And then she was like, "Yeah, but that's gonna be a whole lot of adult work."
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't mind that. Like,
You enjoy it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my kids. Other than teaching other people's kids.
You know what? In my head, I said, wow, it makes us feel really bad. We like it too sometimes.
she has fun.
She actually
I like
does
2
love
out of 7.
Wow, 2, that's a lot. Oh. I'm thinking 1 day.
Yeah, the
Oh,
2 is pushing it.
Yes, that's really strong. Wow, good mother's skin.
I told them I was moving out this week. I said, if you carry on being horrible to me and not listening, I'm leaving. I'll go and live with my friends.
She was going to call one of you.
I'm
like,
sure
We're all leaving. So if I were-
I know for a fact Neil would have been like, "What, Auntie Nick?"
She said, no, Mummy, I don't want you to go. I said, well, you be nice then and start listening. She said, okay, Mummy, I will.
Did it work?
No.
I was going to say I might try it this
The
week.
next day I heard Nia say to Luca, that's what you get when you don't listen, when they were playing in their room. And then she said, Luca, if you do that again, I'm going to slap you. I had to pull her down. I did my...
Amara's done the same.
Yeah, it was the repeat of Amara.
Yeah. She said to Raya, if you keep behaving like this, I'm going to slap you.
Yeah.
You just don't listen. And I was in the kitchen, I was like, that's me.
Yeah, that was me. It's my fault.
And then, yeah, I had to tell her, I was like, and then I had to go in, I was like, you don't touch my child. I touch her, you don't touch her. So, yeah.
I said, do you think you're his mum?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that
oldest
lecture had
one.
to come on.
Yeah.
Because Luke does do it to Olivia. But do you know what? Luke actually just cries a lot. Because he's like, just Olivia. He gets so irritated.
The other day,
And he gets really exasperated with her. And he gets upset.
it was Zaya. I think I told you guys already. Or maybe you. Yes, I said Zaya can give that DJ a little pat on the bum. Like, if he does something and you want to say him no, you give him a little pat on the bum.
She wheeled it up, didn't she? She said,
She takes it around. I said, Zaya, you can't hit DJ anymore.
imagine DJ's face.
The thing is, he's just
like,
laughing.
he's not taking it
though.
seriously.
laughing, it's a game. I can just see him walking.
That's the thing, I can see DJ
It
wanting
was the chase because he was walking around moving still and she's following. Literally spinning around.
Gave her too much power.
That's exactly
She
what
said,
it
I'm
was.
going to get you today.
Because I don't even like her shouting at him. No.
Yeah.
Like that. So I don't know why I told her that she can hit him on the bum.
So
bar.
don't
gave
shout,
her too
but you
much
can
power.
beat. Yeah. Don't shout at him, just beat him. You'll be there.
She's like, I am your mother now.
She, to be honest, she thought it before I even said anything.
Yeah, it's the way she
She is.
My baby brother.
My baby brother.
She's good with him though.
Yeah, she is. That's the reason why I thought I could say it.
No, it was a mistake.
Anyways.
Anyway, yeah, Tasha.
Shut
Is that yours?
Yeah. 1 month, 1 month. Your turn.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
If it's
What did you
1 month, we said let's do it. We did it.
We did what?
You know what though? I didn't check. I didn't check.
Huh?
We just I didn't think that it was going to happen that quickly, to be honest. Because I was on birth control, and people had said that if you're on birth control, then it takes longer to, like, for your body to adjust, and then you be able to. But literally, like, I can't remember what happened, and I checked. Oh, I kept getting up to go toilet.
Oh, your worst thing.
How far gone were you when you
People say, how far was my toilet? I was about to say, the toilet was, my bed was here, this is my side of the bed, the toilet was there, literally. I was so pleased with that. I had
You know she hates that. She hates superpowers.
How far? So how?
When I found out, I was 6 weeks.
That's
So
quite
you were
far.
I thought that was too early.
No, it's because you were left 2 weeks after your period, isn't it?
Yeah. But my thing was I kept going toilet. And then I was like, oh, where's my period?
Yeah.
And then that's when I found out that I was pregnant. Oh, and then Daniel was at work when I done the test. And I can't remember if I told him. Oh, such a bad memory. Not good for this at all. I can't remember if I told him. No, I didn't tell. Did I tell him on the phone?
You did tell him at work because I
Did I
remember
tell
you
him
were
when he was on the train
saying
back?
you were saying his reaction because he couldn't react properly because he was somewhere. So I don't think it was face to face. Because I remember you saying this story and we were like, why would you do that? But you're like, huh? I need to tell him. So I feel like...
I don't know because, and then he didn't believe me and he wanted to see the thing, the pregnancy, because I told everyone so many times.
You even just he was like, nah.
Literally, that's what it was. I told him and he didn't believe me because
So we carry
I do it all
shopping
the
in.
time. And then I showed him he said that he wanted to see the pregnancy test.
See, you've got a problem.
So much
You've actually got a problem.
But yeah, so then he saw the pregnancy test, and then I don't think he was excited in the moment because it was like, oh, we didn't think it was gonna happen this fast. Yeah, and then I was just like, are you not happy? And you can see all the thoughts of this man, like, my freedom. Yeah. He was like, yeah. Literally.
It's going to be a lot of money.
I just want to tell you a story.
I do. It's actually not that exciting. I think mine's the same. I tried for, I feel like maybe, I think we got pregnant 2 months. It wasn't really long, like it was 2 months.
Yours been quick.
Yeah, and I remember when I found out, so I'd been like, we said that we weren't going to stress about it. So we're going to just, we didn't do any like planning or looking. We were just like, let's just do what we need to do to make a baby. And have the fun with it. And then we're like, if it gets like to like 6 months and we haven't got pregnant, then we'll start looking. And then, so I'd just take pregnancy tests really randomly, just to see. I'm like, let me see. And I think I took one, but you know, like the cheap ones, and the line was really faint. And I was just like, I don't know about this one. But bearing in mind, that weekend was one of our family friends' birthday parties. It was such a messy night. But then the next morning, I felt sick, but I was just like, am I? And I was like, in my head, I was like, I've killed the baby. I didn't even know if there was a baby, but I was just like, I've killed it. Because surely, so I took the test and the faint line came up. And I remember I called my sister. I was like, I did a test and it's really faint. So she was just like, okay, do another one. So I did another one, the same thing came up. And I think I called you. Well, you were on the way to my house, weren't you? Or something like that. So she was like, tell Duna to buy clear blue. So I think we went together or something.
Like pregnant, not pregnant.
I think I bought it and brought it.
You bought it and did it. So then she was, again, my sister and Edwina were like, and Sylvia were on the phone before my husband knew.
It's true, I remember.
They were on the phone with me. We did the test and then like we were excited. And then Tola came home and Edwina was like recording from the corner. So I took him to the bedroom to talk to him. And Edwina's like in the corner of our bedroom like this. So when you see the video, she's like this. And then it's like we're back to back and I told him. And he was so like, I feel like his reaction was like, oh. Okay.
I feel like it's a big shock
Yes.
for the dads. Even though they know what they're doing.
That's what, like, you're planning for it, but he was still like, oh. But I think even I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Are we sure? Are we sure? But you're too late back then. And I was really worried because I was just like, what's going to happen to my child? I drank so much. I was really scared. But she's fine.
I'm scared.
At the beginning stages, because I drank a lot as well. I remember there was one night. I remember, this is quite bad actually. I remember because I was ill. I think it might have
I
been
even
because
know
I
which
was
story
pregnant.
you're
I was ill. And I was at my cousin's house. And all of the cousins were at my cousin's house. And my cousins got ill. And they were all blaming me. And this was around COVID times. So they were like, they blamed me for the whole COVID in the country. They said, you brought it. But yeah, so I was ill. And then I remember, like, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh, so I was pregnant and I was doing this.
Oh.
Yeah. Because that one I was finished. I even ended up sleeping there.
But I feel like you not had an idea, but remember that time we were making jokes about it?
We were.
I feel like we
you guys were
did
telling me
that,
to check.
And you were like, yeah, and you were like, I've got a lot of things this weekend. I'm not going to check this weekend.
I
And I feel like I did the same with mine because I remember I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to check this weekend. I've got parties.
I made the mistake.
everything.
I checked the day before my 25th birthday
don't do
party,
that.
and I
sorry,
planned a drunken games night where if you like mess up on the game, you had to wear the dunce hat and take 3 shots or whatever. So then I had to tell my stepdad and my basically godmother that I was pregnant and only a couple of like weeks pregnant. So they made me fake shots because they were the games masters. So on the night, every time I lost something, I had to shot whatever they gave me, but it was juice.
So Luca is right.
Liar.
Liar.
Nene is watching.
Lies and watching. From a green box. And Emma was saying, "Here, you're so mashed up." I said, "I know."
So you even had to act drunk? Nah. I thought I couldn't act back.
She said award Oscar winner.
Anyone that's hiring, I'm ready.
She said I'm good. I'm good at what I do.
Well done, Hina. Well
I
done.
love when Hina can't talk in this episode because your voice got from here to here.
And I was like, I know, because I get excited.
I'm so happy. Anyway, it's okay.
Yeah.
Quick question: was it as quick?
Pardon?
Was it as quick for number 2 for you?
The same.
Same.
Was it?
I think I came.
Instant.
Yeah.
And I think because of you, I came off because you told me with Luca that it took you a while. Not Luca,
No.
with Nia.
Yeah.
And then someone had told me their second, they'd struggled. So I remember I came off the pill really early. Not early, but I was kind of like, oh, I'll come off. It's going to take a while to come out of my system. And then we'll go and do what we need to do, to make the babies. And then I just got pregnant. And I was like, oh. And I'm so upset. I just started running. I tell you, my body was looking. And then I was just... I just started doing, Couch to 5K. I finally got to the 5K. I was doing it. Then I got pregnant. Never gone back to Couch 5K.
I was shocked. I came off the pill. Yeah, I'd come off the pill, got pregnant instantly. And I knew I was pregnant, but I was so scared once again, so I wouldn't do the test. Then Jay came home one day and he had Burger King in one hand and the pregnancy test in the next hand. He was like, right, go and do the test. I said, let me eat my burger first. He said, no, go and do it now. So I went in the toilet, did the test, and it said pregnant. I was like 5 weeks by now or something. And that's late for me because I know straight away, like 1 week. So I'd come out and then I couldn't eat no food. I was crying. I said, what about Nia? I don't think I could do this. And then we said we was ready, but I don't know. I was just joking. Yeah, I was joking. But it's too late.
It's too late.
Mine was, we said we were gonna start trying again, and then I was like, gosh, hold on, wait, let's start and let's leave it another. And then by the time that it was too late. Yeah.
What? Yeah, I should know it. She literally be like, should come check, guys. I'm ready to have another baby. And she's like, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
I'm very indecisive.
And she's like, no, I think it's too soon. Like, I don't want to do it. And then after she's like, I'm pregnant. We're like, you know what? I don't want to. Anymore. Like, stop it. I'm not doing this with you.
Well, I remember how I found out. I cried. So something happened at work, and I cried.
You don't normally cry.
And I don't normally cry. Yeah. Thanks for. Yeah. I don't normally cry. So then my friend was like, oh, you cried. Are you sure you're pregnant? I said, maybe. Oh. And when I did the test, I was pregnant.
At school, you did the press
No, I did that at school.
Oh.
Yeah. I was pregnant. And I was only 2 weeks at that point.
Olivia took us a long time. But I think, so we when Luke was like, not even before he was a year old, we fell pregnant really early. Well, like early in Luke's life. So I think he must have been like 8 months old. And I didn't know that I was pregnant, but I hurt my back. I fell over in the house, I couldn't move, we called the doctors out. Like I had to call the doctor to the house. Like I'd called 111 and can can you come to the hospital? I was like, I can't move. So someone, I won't call 999 because I'm not dying, but I can't get up. So someone needs to come to my house. And when they came, he said to me, are you pregnant? I was like, no.
Never thought about it.
Maybe. But you know, like it's that first year, like I had expressed a lot with Luke, so I didn't breastfeed Luke, but I expressed, so I feel like I was doing the same thing, and I was really upset when my period came back at like 6 months old. So you know, like, and that first year, like your whole body is sorting itself out, so you don't like. I wasn't like regular on my period. I was like, I don't know when I last had a period, like. But I'm not counting days in that first year of their life. So this was like the January, and Luke would have been 1 in the May. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. And then the whole situation like played itself out, like the doctor came and sorted it out. Once I could move again, which was a couple of days. I'd been on like really strong painkillers. I took a pregnancy test and I was pregnant, which really like shocked us, and we've got a picture of like just genuinely, like with Luke, and he's tiny with a bottle. We're like, oh my goodness, like this, and the baby was going to be born. Luke was going to be like 14 months old, maybe 15 months old. That's a baby.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was a baby. And then within the week, I had, you know, like the early on, I feel like I took so many tests, like every day. I was like, am I still pregnant? And then I had taken the normal like pharmacy ones. I had taken a clear blue one while Chris was out at rehearsal, and I had texted him a picture, and I was like, pregnant. I was like, no, it's real, even though it's all like, after all the ones with the faint line, I was like, it's real, it's definitely real. But I don't know how pregnant I was, because there was no way of knowing when my first appointment was. But we had like booked an appointment with a midwife, like referred ourselves to the doctor, and then I took a test and it came back negative. And I was like, oh. And I took another test, and they were all negative. And then I'd say like within like 2 or 3 days, like I had bled. And I was like, okay.
I didn't know it happened like that. I thought like you would bleed and then you do tests after.
My period was bad that month. I remember it being really painful. And I don't know how much of that was like in my head, like because I knew what had happened. And my cousin's midwife, and I had messaged her, and I was like, I don't understand, like I've got all these tests that say I was pregnant, and we weren't expecting period. It was a complete shock. And so I felt like the grief was different, because obviously I wasn't waiting for a child that I then lost, but we still lost a baby, even though it was like really early. We still lost it, and we were both like, it was like the middle of the day, and Chris was at work, and I remember begging him to come home, but he couldn't, and I just like sat on the sofa and cried all day. And it was really surreal, but I felt like I talked about it quite early on, because I was like, I wasn't expecting it. Like, even though it was really sad and it was really heartbreaking, I was like, I wasn't like, it was different to as if I felt as if I had been like waiting for this child that I then lost. It was a surprise that was then taken from us, but it was taken from us for a reason. Maybe God knew there was no way I was going to handle 2 at like 15 months and 0. And then from that point, I was like, oh, maybe we should try and have another baby, because we were so sad that we had lost one. I was like, oh, we do want one. And that was in the January. And then we tried, and it took nearly a year before we fell pregnant with Olivia. And we didn't try like every month. I remember like August, it was my birthday, and I was like, nah. We're not trying this one, no, thank you. Like we weren't as on it as we were like had been before, but we did try, and it took so long to fall. Like it was a real shock when we fell with Olivia, because I was just expecting another negative test. And then I remember thinking, is it all, like, you know, you spend, like, your brain goes crazy, because I spent so long thinking, is it all linked to the fact that like we lost one? Is that it now? Like how did I fall so quickly with Luke? And now that's it, I can't have children now, like that's it, we just got one. It was a lot, like we waited a long time for Olivia. And it was, I remember it, I didn't even tell him with Olivia, like, oh no, I did. I waited for him to come home. He was out, and I took the test by myself, like in the bathroom. That was it. And then I had to wait for him to come home before I showed him the test. Shoot him the test. Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Maybe there's
It's not the time. It's not the time.
No, serious, guys. Serious moment. And he didn't believe me. Like I remember him being really shocked, and then we had to go to do my family and pretend like nothing happened. But yeah, it took a long time. So I don't know what would happen if we like had a third. I don't know where I stand fertility wise. I don't know if it's like that. I don't know.
But do you also think that it might have taken long because your body's kind of been through a trauma that then.
And
like,
even
maybe
mentally, like you stress, don't you? And you're like
Psychologically,
thinking about it, and you're worried about it. They do say there's so many things that
Because the psychological impacts your physical.
definitely.
So Nia wasn't my first pregnancy. When I was in sixth form, I got pregnant because I was with a very abusive ex, and he did really bad things, and I ended up getting pregnant. But that experience was very similar to the experience of Nia, except with Nia there was happiness, but all my symptoms and stuff was the same as with that one. But the trauma was the same. Like, even though when I first found out I was pregnant, I knew because the smells and stuff was really bad, and like I felt sick all day, and I'd be in sixth form in my lessons sleeping and stuff. And my teachers would be like, "Oh, you need to wake up," and I'd be like, "I can't. I really can't. I just need to go home." But I'd feel so sick. And I remember like I wanted to keep the baby, but then I was like, I can't keep the baby. Just if I kept that baby, I'd be stuck to him my whole life. Firstly, secondly, I hadn't finished sixth form and all that stuff. I had no money and whatever. So the decision was that I wouldn't keep the baby. But in the back of everything, he was like, "You're not allowed to keep this baby." Wow. So I was forced into having the abortion. But like afterwards, it must have been like similar feelings of like passing the baby, and then all the feelings that come after that, and like the guilt was so bad. It would be different for you because you didn't have a choice, but for me, I had all the guilt of me doing that to a baby. Now I'm fine with it because I'm like, if I would have had that child, my life would have been completely different. But at the time I was like, I can't believe like I've done this. But yeah, that was really hard at that time because I was only 17 and we get pregnant at home with your whole family. Nobody knows what's going on. Plus there's all the trauma of everything else that was going on. So yeah, that was my first experience. So when I was pregnant with Nia, that's how I knew straight away I'm pregnant because the symptoms were the same. Yeah.
It must have brought back a lot. I don't think it would have brought back a lot of those feelings anyway from back then.
Yeah, it did.
Like the fear that I had with Olivia when we got pregnant with her. Like, are we going to lose this one?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many pregnancy tests I took with Olivia. I feel like I just went every day. And every day that I took a test, I expected it to be negative again. Like, oh, I know it said I was positive, but every day I was like, oh, maybe it's not, maybe it's not, maybe it's not, maybe it's not. And you kind of wait for like that 12-week scan, and then you wait for the 20-week scan, and you're like, oh, like we're here now, because you think that it'll be the same as last time. It brings back a lot of emotions and a lot of...
Yeah, it's very emotional. And like, even with taking the pregnancy test for that first one, it was completely different because I was like in a sexual health clinic and I dragged my friend from school to go with me, and I'm in the toilet at the sexual health clinic doing the test, and it's come up with the 2 lines, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I do now? Who do I speak to now? And then I had to go home, and I told my sister, and then my sister told my mum, and then my mum dealt with everything else. But that was like horrific. But it's the reality, isn't it? Like, if there's teenage mums, there's probably going to be teenage mums watching and stuff. My sister's a teenage mum, and the experience that we had at the beginning was very similar. But she obviously had her child, who's now 13. Yeah.
Nick, was there a point where you stopped checking, like, doing a pregnancy test?
I don't remember. I remember like willing that 12-week scan to come, and I remember thinking, should we pay for an early one? Because we paid for a private scan with Luke when he was about 18 weeks because we wanted to do a gender reveal like around Christmas time, but my 20-week scan wasn't booked until the January. But we decided not to. Obviously, I don't know in the emotion of it why. we didn't, because you think I actually would have, like, maybe it would have put my mind at ease if I'd have just known it was there. I think once I got to I think I miscarried at about 6 or 7 weeks with the one that I miscarried. I thought that's what I kind of think it was. Maybe like, it's so hard to know, and I think that's part of what made it easier for me to like talk about, or for me to like deal with internally. And I was off work at the time, which was super helpful because I'd hurt my back, and actually it just gave me the space to like process what was happening, but like without having to just pretend everything was okay. Because I think going to work, I'd have just had to have walked in. I don't know if I don't suppose people give you compassionate leave for miscarriage. I don't know how that will work.
They're changing some of the laws, I think, about that.
They do.
I think you get. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it's 2 weeks or something like that. There's meant to be a.
But then you have to talk about
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's like you have to be a certain stage in your pregnancy. I don't know.
What was it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like it. I don't know. I don't think. I feel like there's a. I think it might have even changed recently.
Yeah, I think there's a
But
new
I'm sure
thing.
they've made it so you do
Every
get
time.
time. Yeah.
And I don't remember, like, I had been signed off for a couple of weeks at the time because my back, I had done, like, hurt my back. And it was, I remember thinking, this is really helpful because I don't have to face anyone. Like, I don't have to explain, like, oh, I'm not in today, or I cried today because, or I'm not myself. And no one really questioned me. Like, I told my parents. Obviously, Chris and I had spoken about it, and like, I told, like, a couple of my friends, but not, like a lot. And I've not really talked about it with loads of people. It's not a secret. But it's not like you don't introduce stuff. You're like,
This is my
you
story.
know,
Yeah.
had a miscarriage. But I reckon it was probably about like approaching the 12-week scan that I stopped taking. I think I just bought, like, you just buy like a massive box from Amazon, and then just like every day. And then I learned as well, because I had bought like a box of ovulation tests for Luke that was still in my bathroom, and I read somewhere that if you take an ovulation test and it comes up positive, you can also like read it as a positive pregnancy test. I don't know how to do that.
Wait, so
I could be a liar.
I saw something on TikTok of this couple. Yeah, it was a couple. They were doing a pregnancy
Oh, I know
test.
what you're
It was
talking
an ovulation test. So they're
Oh.
panicking, and like they're panicking, and then they're jumping for joy that they're pregnant. And
Oh,
she's
no.
like, "Oh no, wait, it's quick to the bedroom!" Before they were pregnant.
That's different.
but I had read somewhere that like if you're not expecting to be ovulating, you're not expectant. Like, you don't think you're supposed to be ovulating, and you still getting a positive ovulation test because it's just detecting hormones. I really could be like talking absolute rubbish, but in my head, I feel like I use those as well because they were cheaper than taking pregnancy tests. And I had a box of like 100.
She's like, I'm about to have a baby. Spend money.
So I used those ones as well, and I was like, oh, it's still coming up positive. It's all good. And you know, the line gets like more, like darker and darker and darker every time. And then so probably approaching the 12-week, and then once I got to 12 weeks, I was like, I was good.
Does a scan help? Like,
Yeah, definitely. That first scan, and then do you know what? Pregnancy's wild. Like, I had so many scans after that, and I didn't want them.
What, because the baby wasn't growing?
Because I had gestational diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
And they scan you all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, every 2 weeks, and I come back for a scan.
But you know what? I think I had gestational diabetes with Araya as well, and I kind of like it.
Because you can
I
see
realised
them.
with Amara had an extra scan, which I don't know. I had something, but I don't remember. So I got an extra scan after 20 weeks. And then in my head, I was thinking, when people were like, "Oh, you just get your 20 weeks and that's it," I think that would have panicked.
Yeah.
If that's all I would have got. I think I feel like I would have paid for another one.
Unless they think that the baby's not growing, like either too big or too small.
Yeah, I did have that with Luke because they thought it was massive.
I had it as
Maybe
well with
Ryan
Zaya because not with Zaya, with DJ, because Zaya, they thought Zaya was bigger than she actually was, but she wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I had it with Nia because they thought she was too small, but she came out like average size.
Luke, they told me at 34 weeks that he was like £6 1 ounce at 34.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, doing all the maths. I said, £4.5 a week. I've got 6
She's like, who's pushing
so
that
like
out?
£9.5 by the time I give him. And he came out like £6.5. So they either didn't get it right or he didn't grow not one bit in the last 6 weeks of pregnancy, and I think I prefer the first option.
Yeah.
So bad.
They don't know, and like they get it wrong a lot of the time. Were they just measuring you? No, you were
No
doing
scans.
scans.
They scanned me.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. I really can't. But I remember going, and my mother-in-law came with me. I don't know why. I can't remember how that all happened. I worry a lot, so I think I'd been in and out for like reduced movement. You know, because I haven't felt a baby move for like 4 hours, so off I drove to the hospital and they did what they needed to do. I felt like, I don't know, some kind of like special treatment for a few hours. They're like, come get on the bed, we'll give you the bands. Would you like a drink? Yes, I would, please, thank you. Give me the button, let me press when I feel the baby, and the baby would move. But I think because I had been in like more than once, I'm like, oh, we're gonna check, and that's when they said like he was too big, and they were worried, and like a few people had said to me, oh, you're massive. I don't know who feels like can say that to a pregnant woman. You're
That's why
massive.
it's gestational diabetes. That's what
I don't
happened.
think you should tell me
that.
that.
No.
You should just keep your mouth quiet.
I just had lots of water.
But who did you have just with
Olivia.
Oh, okay.
They tested me for gestational diabetes 3 times with Luke.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't have it.
What? Because they thought you were so big.
Because I was so big.
They're mean.
6.5 pounds, guys.
Because you know that
that's not
gestational
that
diabetes
big.
test is nasty.
Is it?
Maybe you were just swollen.
nasty. Oh.
I think I had a lot of
glucose
water.
test.
Yeah. Water retention.
Because when my water
Oh, it
broke,
is.
my water
Oh, I
broke.
had that.
I think you would do. Sorry.
Anyone that has some sort of ethnicity in them, they tell
Yeah, I
you
think
you must
so.
have it.
The
What?
glucose test.
Glucose test. Do you have the glucose?
I didn't
test?
have it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Because I
because
was too fat.
Do you think because it was...
that's the reason why I didn't have it, because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah. But I think that pregnancy, I actually had gestational diabetes, and my midwife said that pregnancy, the symptoms that I had when I was talking about and the reason why I had to go for extra scans with DJ, they were saying that these symptoms are like aligned with gestational diabetes.
Oh, okay.
It's true, they wouldn't have picked it up because you just weren't...
Yeah. But then even with DJ, I didn't have the glucose test, and that was way after COVID, so I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah. No mind, because I didn't have
Testosterone.
to
It's not nice.
drink that thing that everybody is crying about and stay in the hospital for 3 hours.